We have two questions or two topics to go through today. The first is tempos on lifts. Someone asked, do you have any recommendations for the tempo of the lifts and other weighted exercises? I'm not sure if tempo is the right word. It is. But I've done programs before where it was prescribed how slowly to squat down or pull or whatever the exercise is. I've been defaulting to a 3 second slow and then explosive. So if I don't give a tempo, it's because you don't need to think about it or worry about it. If it's just a classic lift, like the deadlifts and the bench press are in it now, for example. So deadlifts, you just need to bring the bar down slowly enough that you're controlling the weight or controlling your body positioning so that you don't hurt yourself. And the floor can actually take a lot of the weight, so it's fine if it kind of crashes down a bit too. And the bench press, you need to just pull the bar down slowly enough that you're actually able to control it and push back out of it. So you don't want that like falling on your chest or bouncing off it. The reason I wouldn't put a prescribed tempo now is because this is going to be so different from person to person. It's about hypertrophy and strength development. So a person deadlifting 120 kilos is going to be far different with their tempo versus someone lifting the 20 kilogram kettlebell. So I'm not going to slow down the person with the 20 kilo kettlebell. I'm not going to speed up the person with the heavier bar. So it's just about moving the bar as explosively as you can in the concentric or the shortening or the actual pulling action, because that's what's going to make you more athletic, more explosive, and fire more fast twitch fibers, which is also what we want. There will be other lifts in the programs in the months to come where it'll be more specific and I'll actually prescribe tempos, or I'll describe it as eccentric, isometric, reactive. There's different types. For now, it's just a bog standard, so don't overthink it. Just lift the weight as fast as you can with the best form that you have. The next is about the nasal breathing cue in the extensive tempos in particular. People are maybe feeling like they're being limited by it. They have to slow down because of it, or they simply can't do it because their nose is running and stuff like that. So nasal breathing, the reason I'm really encouraging that now is because it'll help to strengthen your or bias the use of your aerobic system, so your oxygen using energy system development. It'll strengthen your diaphragm because your diaphragm will have to kind of work a bit harder if you're breathing through the nose. It'll strengthen your inhalation muscles in general because there's a bit more resistance, and the quality of the air coming in is a lot better as well. Research as well, they used to think that mouth breathing was superior to nasal breathing for exercise, but actually they've found that there's benefits of nasal breathing, which include a reduction in exercise-induced bronchoconstriction, so that's the tubes going into your lungs, improved ventilatory efficiency. You actually have more oxygen when you when you exhale through the nose. You actually take up a little bit more oxygen, so you get a bit more back, and then lower physiological economy for a given level of work. So actually it seems like if you can nasal breathe through your exercise, you're going to be more efficient with what you're doing, more economical with your energy. So it's a really good skill to try and develop now, because this is the time to do that. It's not going to come later. Fast work is going to come. The demands are going to get higher and the sprints are going to get shorter and everything. So this is the time where I like people to work on this and build a little bit of a foundation, and then it's much easier to apply it for the recovery part, which is what will be cued in for in between the shorter tempos and for short sprints and shuttles and such that will come up. Even if it feels like you're going really slowly because your nose is starting to run, just go with it as much as you can. If you really can't breathe through your nose, just try in through the nose, out through the mouth, and otherwise just get the running done. It is fine, but the more you practice it, the better you'll get at it, and the better your nasal passages will be able to kind of react, I think, more appropriately, say. But if you're only ever nasal breathing through your running and you're not doing it day to day, you might find it more difficult. If you're going in with a stuffy nose because you're a little bit sick, or you kind of have an inflammatory reaction to your environment or your diet or whatever, that's also going to make it much harder. So simply trying to have a good free nasal airways is going to benefit your health in multiple ways, and it'll make these runs easier.